Hey guys, it's Vikash here. Hope you're keeping well and safe. This is a video that I've created to assist you to make your own videos using the software Zoom. The reasons why I prefer to make use of Zoom to record my videos are as follows. Firstly, it's free, it's easy to use, and it has a user-friendly interface. It also has all the features that I need to record and to share my screen. Secondly, the recordings are downloaded to my local computer, making it easy to access. Finally, the size of the videos are relatively smaller compared to other video recording software. For these reasons, I prefer to use Zoom to record my videos. However, it should be noted that the one factor that you need to also consider, which could possibly be a disadvantage, is that it requires an active internet connection to connect to Zoom. For me, the advantages seem to outweigh the disadvantage, and I use it to create most of my videos. I hope this video helps you, and best wishes to you with your video creation. Having the Zoom client installed on your computer makes it a lot easier each time that you want to make a recording. Let me demonstrate how to install the Zoom client software. You can use your browser. In this case, I'm making use of Google Chrome. If you have a different browser on your computer, you can make use of that browser. It makes no difference what browser you're using. I am now going to go directly to the Zoom page where I'm going to download the software. So this is my address bar where I'm going to type the address. We are not searching for the Zoom software. I'm going directly to a particular address. You would need to type zoom.us, and I want to go directly to the download page. So I use this front slash and I type download. So that's Zoom. There it is here. It's zoom.us/download. When I press enter, it will take me directly to the download page in Zoom. And what I'm looking for is the Zoom client for meetings. This is the button that I'm going to need to click on in order to download the software. If I scroll down, there are many other Zoom plugins that can be installed. However, for this particular demonstration, I'm looking for the Zoom client for meetings. I will click on that. And once I click on that, you will see that the download starts at the bottom left-hand side of my screen. The download is now complete. I can click on this arrow that points up and show in my folder. It then shows me the Zoom installer. I've downloaded the installer multiple times. Therefore, there is a 2 next to it. If you're installing it for the first time, it should just say Zoom installer. Now that the installer is downloaded, I now need to execute this file to actually install the software. So let's double click on the Zoom installer file. And once I double click it, it means I am now running this particular application, and it's going to go through a process where it's going to install all the necessary files for the software to be installed on this computer. It may take a minute to be installed. As you can see, it's going through the initialization process. And once it's installed, then we will have all the files that we need downloaded or installed on our computer. So it's now at 95% complete. We're almost there. Yes, that's now completed. If I minimize this screen and I do the same there, I will now see that it comes up with a window that says Zoom, join a meeting, or to sign in. Now, I need to be signed in should I want to start a meeting. So I'm going to click on the sign in button at this stage. I'm not going to create a Zoom account. I'm just going to log in using my Google account that I have. I'm going to click on sign in with Google. Opened up the Zoom software that has now been installed. And since I've logged in, it now brings me to this particular window. If I close this and I close my browser, you will now find, there it is, there is an icon that says Zoom, and this is the client that we need installed on our machine. Each time I just double click on that particular icon, and it will then start the software that we required to go into a meeting. Now that you have downloaded the Zoom software and you are ready to record, you need to develop a plan in terms of what you intend to do in your recording and how you intend to go about doing this. Let's say that you want to create an introductory video for your students to watch for the subject that you will be lecturing this year. What are some of the steps that you would need to go through when you are creating this video? As part of my plan, the first step would be to start a Zoom session where I could start a recording. Once the recording has started, I will then record an introduction of myself where I would possibly outline my name, what I do, what I'm passionate about, and I'll speak a bit about the subject that I will be lecturing. Second, I know that I have a PowerPoint presentation. I will use this presentation and explain the subject that I will be teaching, where I will specify the subject name, the outcomes, and I will also outline my expectations of the students for this particular subject. Now that I have a plan in terms of what I want to do in recording my video, the next step will be to execute the plan. At this stage, I've downloaded the Zoom software on my computer. This is where you will see it. That's the icon that tells me that the Zoom soft client has been installed on my computer. I've also completed the planning for my video that I want to record. But before I actually start with the recording, let me demonstrate to you how to start a Zoom meeting. I will click on this particular icon, which will then launch the Zoom application. This will take a second or two and bring up this particular window. I have a few options that I can select, but the idea is for me to go into a meeting with myself. So I am going to start a new meeting. Clicking on that particular icon starts my meeting. It automatically starts a video. Notice up here it says connecting. It means you need a live connection in order for you to use the Zoom software and to perform a recording. So you must have a live internet connection. It then brings up a window that wants you to join with computer audio. That's what I'm going to do because I need to record. You can test your speakers and your mic. So clicking on join computer audio, and this starts up the Zoom environment. Let's look at the Zoom environment. A menu bar appears at the bottom of your screen. This menu bar is an auto hide. So if you keep your pointer, your mouse pointer still, that menu bar will disappear. The minute you move your mouse pointer, the menu bar then reappears. On the extreme bottom left-hand side, this is your mic, which indicates if your mic is on or off. Clicking on the mic will mute, and it will give you an indication that you are muted. Clicking on it again unmutes the mic, and there's a little green gauge that is an indicator that your mic is on. Next to that is the icon to start the video. Clicking on this particular icon will then start up the webcam or whichever video camera is attached to your computer. At this stage, there is a line across the video, a red line that indicates that the video is turned off. Then we have security. If I click on that, it gives me the security features that are turned off and those that are disabled. I will leave each of the features as it is default, and I will not change any of the existing features. Participants, clicking on that will show me the different participants in my meeting. I'm the only participant, I'm the host. If there were more participants in the meeting, it will indicate in this particular menu. The chat allows you to send messages to others in the meeting should there be other members. Remember, at this stage, I'm recording and I'm going into a meeting with myself, so these particular features are not required. An important feature is the share screen, which we are going to be using. Clicking on this gives me the option to share my screen by clicking on the share screen and then clicking on share at the bottom right-hand corner. I will not share my screen at this stage. We will demonstrate that a bit later in the video. Then we've got the record button to start a recording. Take note that once your screen is shared, then the record button may not appear at the bottom. There is a panel that appears on the top, and you will select record from that particular panel. And it's important to also note that when you're recording, that panel that appears when your screen is shared does not get recorded. We then have the reactions. These are different emojis that can be used when you are in a meeting. You can even raise your hand when you are in a meeting. So this is something that we will not be using when we are recording. On the extreme right-hand side at the bottom, it allows you to end your meeting. On the top right-hand side, you can go into full screen mode or you can exit full screen mode. On the top left-hand side, it gives you your meeting information. Of note is the link. This is the link should you want to give anyone this particular link to join a meeting. You would copy that particular link and make it available for others to join. Remember, I am going now into a meeting with myself where I'm recording, so that is not applicable. So this is a very basic, simple to use, user-friendly menu that can be used in Zoom. I'm in a meeting with myself, and this now allows me to start a recording. For me to share my screen, I will then click on the share screen icon, which brings up this window, and the first option says share my screen, and I can click on share. At this stage, my screen is now shared, so I will minimize that particular window. I will bring up my PowerPoint that I'm going to be using, and I'm now ready to start my recording for the second part of the video. Once your screen is shared, you will notice that you now have the menu bar that's on top. It's no longer at the bottom. So this menu bar appears on the top, and you can then select the options that appear on the top. And the nice thing about it is that the menu bar itself, although it appears, it does not get recorded. This particular menu bar that you are seeing is from MS Teams because I'm using MS Teams to record whatever is on my screen, and I'm demonstrating making use of Zoom. Hey guys, hope you're keeping well and safe under the circumstances. This is an introductory video for the subject, Introduction to Problem Solving and Programming. My name is Dr. Jagu, and I will be taking you for this subject. I'm extremely passionate about teaching students computer programming, and I look forward to working with you during the course of the year. The subject is called Introduction to Problem Solving and Programming. The purpose of this subject is to be able to provide you with knowledge in terms of foundational concepts for computer programming, such as control structures, sequence selection, and looping. During the course of this subject, you will better understand the meaning of sequence selection and looping. And as we go through the different problem-solving techniques, you will understand all of these concepts a lot easier. Prerequisites for the course: there are no prerequisites. You have been selected into the program having passed your matric, so there are no prerequisites. The pace of the course will be intense, but you will find it extremely rewarding. Some of the contents that we will cover, as you can see, is code.org. We'll look at some Blockly games. We'll then try to understand algorithms and flowcharts, desk checking, Scratch programming, and finally we'll do some Java programming. So this is what you can expect as we are going through the different stages of this course. I hope you enjoy the course, and I look forward to meeting you in person, where we can talk more about the introduction of problem solving and programming. I have now stopped my recording of the second part of the video, and I can then click on Stop Share. I no longer need to share my screen. I'm now finished with the second part of the recording of the video. The next step for you to understand is how to get the recordings that you have created. Remember, in the first recording, I introduced myself where I had video, and in the second recording, we had my screen that was shared and I recorded the PowerPoint presentation. In order to get those two videos, I first need to end my meeting. I click on End at the bottom right-hand side and then click on End Meeting for All. This now takes me out of the Zoom meeting. I'm now out of Zoom, and once I've ended my meeting, you will see this window coming up, which is now converting the recording of the meeting, and it's going to give me the videos which are now being downloaded onto my computer. This is the nice thing about Zoom. Once you create a recording, those videos are now downloaded directly onto your machine, and you are ready to make use of those videos. So it's almost finished downloading. We are now at 90% odd. Once it is finished, it will open up the folder where there it is. It now has opened up the folder, and you will see that it has the recordings that I have created. So there are 3 recordings. You may think that I've only done 2. The reason why you are seeing 3, it's because I did a third recording that was not part of the video that you are seeing. So essentially, the Zoom 1 and Zoom 2 are the two main recordings for step 1 and step 2. It also creates audio files only for the video file. So these are your video files. It has the audio embedded in it, but if you wanted audio only, you could use those particular files. Now, if I close all of my windows and I minimize my PowerPoint and I open up my computer, you will find your recordings in Documents. So this is where you need to go to. Sorry, it's not Downloads. You need to go to the Documents, My Documents. And when I click on My Documents, here you will find a folder that says Zoom. You will find a folder that says Zoom. There it is. And if I double click this folder, all your Zoom recordings are in this folder. It has the date and it has a little description that says my meeting with some number. If I scroll right to the bottom, as you can see, I've got lots of Zoom recordings. If I scroll right to the bottom, this is the recording that I've done right now, which is today's date, and it gives you the time. If I double click on that, you will see your video files and your audio files.